Welcome to the box office. What would you like to see today? Something light, something entertaining, maybe with a side of social commentary? Well, I've got just the show for you. Urinetown, a modern classic, and really a scathing indictment of capitalism. I mean, the show's chock full of social commentary. It's literally about capitalist pigs destroying the environment to get what they want. Those who made dough from debasing, need erasing, need the knife. I mean, that's harsh. But maybe a little too on the nose for you. Maybe you're not looking for a show that screams Hail Malthus. And I mean that literally. It literally does at the end. Why don't we try something new, something a little more nuanced, a little more subtle? One of our newest selections, Come From Away, deals with the world during 9/11. I mean, it's one of the few shows willing to broach the subject of Muslim men in America. Take this, for example. There's this man from the Middle East. Some say he was searched. Some say he was questioned. Now he's on our bus. It's a powerful show, but perhaps a little too new for you. Well, let's try one of the classics. Let's go back to the Bard. I mean, Shakespeare was the king of social commentary, which perhaps makes it a little ironic that he was actually quite in favor of his king. King James was the subject of the gunpowder plot, but Shakespeare actually heralded his wise and quick thinking in avoiding it. In fact, he gives a nice little nod to it in one of my favorite shows, Macbeth. Look like the iron flower, but be like the serpent underneath. It's a clear reference to the medals James I gave out to those he thought were instrumental in crushing the gunpowder plot. But maybe you're looking for something a little more musical. Maybe an opera, perhaps. What about Verdi? The man was an expert at social commentary. In fact, because of his operas, he became known as the father of Italian independence. I mean, he was the driving force behind Italian nationalism. And they would paint V's on the wall because of his name. "You may have the universe, but give me Italy" is a direct quote from one of his shows. I mean, the man loved Italy. But maybe you don't care about Italian nationalism. I mean, who has since World War II? So, how about we try something a little more modern? Take the biggest name on Broadway today, Lin-Manuel Miranda, in one of his earliest shows, In the Heights, where he really attacks the way America treats its immigrants. Maybe you're right, Sonny, call in the coroners. Maybe we're powerless, a corner full of foreigners. I mean, he holds a mirror up to the way America treats its Hispanic immigrants. But, I mean, it is the holiday season. Why not try a holiday classic, The Christmas Carol? I mean, it's so harmless and fun, but based on the novel by Charles Dickens, it really is about social commentary about the way Victorian England treated the poor. Scrooge is a clear example of what the rich were like during Victorian times. I mean, he says, "They may die if they want to, let them decrease the surplus population." Talk about that for social commentary. But, I mean, try something else based off of a novel. Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. It really gives you an insight into the feeling and the reasons that the poor decided to revolt in France. It's a struggle, it's a war, and there's nothing that anyone's given. A day standing about, what is it for? One day less to be living. That's a quote from one of the poorest in the musical based on his novel. I mean, that's social commentary. And that's why you're here, isn't it? To see the social commentary today? I mean, it's what all the shows on Broadway and the West End have in common. They're all making a commentary on what it's like to live in this day and age. Because that's what art's for, to change the way you see things.